I actually thought that maybe I can just dye her hair pink, just because obviously it was in perfect condition. But I'm like, that may also dye the actual vinyl head, so let's not do that. Let's not risk it. And now let's go ahead and remove her factory paint using acetone or nail polish remover. And now let's go ahead and make her wig. I have this thing that I use to measure my yarn, and I just wrap my index finger as well, just to give it a little extra half an inch there. And so I just wrap it, and then we just cut it. And then I take at least 6 to 7 strands of the yarn, and I just wrap it onto this wire hanger, and I just fill it in. And now this is how I make the actual wefts with hot glue. As you can see, I have a silicone pad and a silicone tip over here, and I just sandwich that all with hot glue. And you just dry it out with my silicone fingertip, and there you have it. And now let's go ahead and start by gluing it onto the wig cap, one by one. And you want to start from the bottom, and you kind of want to save the front for the end. Now we're pretty much done with the wig. It's just a regular side part pink wig, and I'll style it a little bit in the end. And now for the body, of course, it's gonna be another hybrid, and this one I will be taking Poppy O'Hare's body from Ever After High. She is lacking the pink undertone that the Chloe head has, but I think it'll still work. Of course, we're gonna go ahead and remove her feet, so I'm over here, I'm just marking the ankles to remove it. And then I'm gonna use a manual drill and also a power drill to put some holes inside her legs. After that, let's go ahead and screw in the hanger bolts. And that's pretty much it for her ankles. Let's go ahead and move on to her face. Now I'm taking my Derwent watercolor pencil, and let's go ahead and begin to sketch out her new eyes. So the look is gonna be very beachy for her face, like she's gonna be sun-kissed, blushed, peachy blush, everything. And that's why I'm kind of giving her more of a natural, quote-unquote natural lip. I was actually about to give her black eyebrows because I thought that would be really, really cool to contrast her pink hair, but I don't know, I just went for pink brows. I thought. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give her some freckles, like her 2015 reboot. I thought that was really, really cool. Actually, the pink hair, the freckles, this is my take on the 2015 Chloe. And now using acrylic paint, I'm gonna go ahead and give her some cash lights. And now it's time for lashes, which is, I think, the curtains to the window of your soul. I don't know, but I'm using Elmer's glue wall to adhere it, and over here I'm just using individual human fake lashes. And now we're pretty much done with Chloe's face. We're gonna try and match her body with her face. So over here you can see the body is still shiny, so when I spray it with Mr. Super Clear, as you can see, it is now matte. And that's why I try not to body blush articulated dolls anymore. It's because it changes the texture of the doll. Obviously, the effect of body blushing is really, really beautiful, just because it does obviously match the face. You know, we put in so much detail onto the face, and then the rest of the body is just plain solid color. So that's why body blushing is really, really beautiful. It's just, like I said, And I also want to give her freckles. Why not? We're already here. Might as well detail it some more. And so I want to give her freckles on her shoulder that travels a little bit down her body. And it's the same color as the one I used for her face. So pinks, burnt sienna, and ivory. And really, to emphasize the beachy, sun-kissed glow, I am highlighting her décolletage, and actually also her, elbows, her hands, her knees. That's, the points. The articulation points, really. And I am layering the highlighter again with Mr. Super Clear because when you spray it, when you seal it, it does kind of disappear. So you want to, kind of build up that layer. My goodness, I mean, it's definitely a better result. The body definitely blends in with her face a lot more. I just have to be careful on posing her and touching the skin because I don't want to get her dirty. Now that she has MSC on her, she is more prone to becoming so we just have to be careful about that. Now let's go ahead and work on everything else. For her bucket hat, I actually started to make one out of faux leather, but I ended up not liking the look of it. It didn't fit correctly. It didn't act like how I want the bucket hat to lay on her head. So I scrapped this version of it and I'm just gonna make one out of Warbler. But I like to take the extra step and actually glue it. And I'm just using this 2-part plastic glue that I got from Michaels. And now let's trace that to make the brim. So giving her a bucket hat was kind of a personal touch on my end, just because I love wearing bucket hats. So I'm like, why not give Chloe a iconic sporty looking bucket hat? For the Off-White logo, I actually borrowed my friend's earrings from Off-White. Thank you, Jean-Philippe, for this, and I'm gonna make a mold out of it. Of course, I'm not gonna use the actual earring. I'm just gonna use this Easy Mold silicone putty I got from Michaels, and we're just gonna mix up the 2 parts together. And this should be done in about 10 to 15 minutes, and we can go ahead and demold her. And now let's go ahead and cast it with our epoxy sculpt. You can also use resin for this one, which I've done, but on camera I'm showing you the epoxy sculpt method, I guess. And this one is actually the resin that I casted. As you can see, it's a lot cleaner, so I highly recommend it. It's just a lot of waste when you're using the resin. The first one will go to the center of her bucket hat, and I am going to glue this with the same plastic glue, and this actually cures in 24 hours, so I had to make sure I put the silicone there so it doesn't create a hard dent onto the logo. And there you have it. Now we are ready to paint. And then I give it a coat of this light gray acrylic paint. And just to add a little bit of detail and dimension to her hat, I am painting on stitches with white acrylic paint. And I'm doing that all over her bucket hat. And now we are done with her hat. As you can see over here, it is posed perfectly. There's a little bit of dent in the top, so it looks like her head is there. I love it. Now let's go ahead and move on to her belt. I made these in Photoshop, and it was just whatever font I had. This isn't the official Off-White font or anything. I just want to go ahead and peel off the tattoo paper over here, and we're just gonna slowly and carefully stick that onto whatever surface. It works with fabric, it works on your skin, it is meant for your skin because it is a tattoo temporary thing. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and wet this cotton ball, and we're gonna go ahead and wet the entire thing. So it's literally like, you know those temporary tattoos, it's literally the same exact thing. And there you have it. This is our Off-White belt for Chloe. And then I'm just sewing snaps to it also, just to make it easier to remove and put on. For the buckle, I am using one of these nail charm thingies, and I'm just taking the rectangle or square one, and this one is actually perfect as a belt buckle. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint it black. And now let's go ahead and put the belt together. Now since this is only printed in PLA, I will go ahead and make a mold out of it and cast it in resin, just because resin is a lot more stronger and more durable. For the mold, I'll be using this Smooth On Mold Star Series 16 Fast. When you start to mix both parts together, you want to make sure to keep track on the time, and you want to mix very thoroughly and fast because it can actually cure while you're mixing it. So have your timer ready and keep on the lookout for the minutes. Every minute literally counts. And I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and I'm cutting the back of the shoe, just so that if there are some casting mistakes here and there, it's a lot easier to, fix up. And of course I made another one off camera and ready to be casted. And there we have our Balenciagas casted in resin. And after cleaning it up, we can finally go ahead and give it some paint. And then I'm gonna manually give it the Balenciaga logo with paint. I wish that for the tattoo transfer that it actually transfers white, but it can only transfer in color. So that's the downside for the tattoo paper technique. So here we go, I'm just trying to freehand this logo. And now she wouldn't be Chloe without her skateboard. She was a skater girl, she said see you later girl. Over here I'm just kind of making the template out of paper for the skateboard. There you have it, bam! And I'm gonna go ahead and trace that onto Worbla 3 times. And now I'm gonna go ahead and layer the skateboards together to create the layered look, just because I thought 1 or 2 wasn't enough and 3 was the perfect width. And after it fully cures, I'm over here heating up the edges with my heat gun so we can kind of bend it slightly like a normal skateboard. And for the wheels, I'm just using these beads and some wooden dowels that I got from Michaels. And using Worbla, I'm just kind of drawing the truck of the skateboard. And let's go ahead and activate that with our heat gun, and I'm actually going to attach it directly to the wheels. Now let's go ahead and paint the deck, and I wanted to go for a light blue for this one. I made a mistake at first, but I will cover it up again with more of a baby blue. So I'm just going to layer that up. For the grip tape, I'm painting it baby pink to match her hair. And now I'm painting the trucks silver, and then I'm gonna paint the wheels white. Now I want to give her grip tapes some glitter, because usually when you look at grip tapes, they have kind of like a glittery type of effect when you look at them, and they are gritty. here we have our angel skateboard for Chloe, and like Sasha and Jade, she is gonna have some cool mask, and for this one I decided to go with an angel shape. Have it ready, and I also just glued the straps in the end, as you can see. Really cool. I do want to go ahead and cover this all up with white glitter. Like, why not? Let's just go overboard, you know? And now we're done with her mask. Let's go ahead and assemble her.